And here is the Writer's Almanac for Wednesday, the 28th of October, 2020. 1919, on this day, Congress overrode President Woodrow Wilson's veto and passed the Volstead Act, which provided for enforcement of the 18th Amendment to the Constitution prohibiting the sale of alcohol. The Prohibition movement, led largely by women who had a hard time making a living on their own, and many of them had seen their lives ruined when their husbands squandered the family income on alcohol. The law was not so enforced in big cities, and so Prohibition was not so effective there. But in rural areas, it was. And when Prohibition was in effect, death rates from cirrhosis of the liver fell by more than 50%, and admissions to state mental hospitals for alcoholism fell as well. It's the birthday of Evelyn Waugh, born in London, 1903, author of Brideshead Revisited and many other novels. And it's the birthday of the man who developed the polio vaccine, Dr. Jonas Salk, born in New York City, 1914. The vaccine released to the public in 1955, and the number of people infected by polio went down from more than 10,000 a year to less than 100. Here's a poem for today by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow entitled The Bridge. I stood on the bridge at midnight as the clocks were striking the hour and the moon rose o'er the city behind the dark church tower. I saw her bright reflection in the waters under me like a golden goblet falling and sinking unto the sea. And far in the hazy distance of that lovely night in June, the blaze of the flaming furnace gleamed redder than the moon. Among the long black rafters the wavering shadows lay, and the current that came from the ocean seemed to lift and bear them away. As sweeping and eddying through them rose the belated tide, and streaming into the moonlight the seaweed floated wide. And like those waters rushing among the wooden piers, a flood of thoughts came o'er me that filled my eyes with tears. How often, oh how often, in the days that had gone by, I had stood on that bridge at midnight and gazed on that wave and sky. How often, oh how often, I had wished that the ebbing tide would bear me away on its bosom o'er the ocean wild and wide. For my heart was hot and restless, and my life was full of care, and the burden laid upon me seemed greater than I could bear. But now it has fallen from me, it is buried in the sea, and only the sorrow of others throws its shadow over me. Yet whenever I cross the river on its bridge with wooden piers, like the odor of brine from the ocean comes the thought of other years. And I think how many thousands of care-encumbered men, each bearing his burden of sorrow, have crossed the bridge since then. I see the long procession still passing to and fro, the young heart hot and restless, and the old subdued and slow. And forever, as long as the river flows, as long as the heart has passions, as long as life has woes, the moon and its broken reflection and its shadows shall appear as the symbol of love in heaven and its wavering image here. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's poem, The Bridge. That's the Writer's Almanac for Wednesday, October the 28th. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.
The Lake Wobegon Virus, Garrison's first new novel in 11 years about his famed hometown, is available now in hardcover, ebook, and audiobooks at GarrisonKeillor.com and at Amazon.